What is one of the biggest myths in bodybuilding that you would personally like expunged?
I don't want to get too big. You're not going to get too big. I'm trying to get big. This is the best I can do. You know, it's like my wife. She deadlifts, you know, whatever the hell, let's say in pounds, she can deadlift 225 for reps, so 110 kilos for reps. She's petite. Yeah. I'm like, dude, women especially, I don't want to look like you. Bitch, I don't want to look like you either. You know, the bottom line is that women are gonna, there's two things holding women back. That's estrogen and cortisol. And they're not gonna get too big. The only reason women bodybuilders look like they look, figure it out. Males, probably not gonna get too big. You know, look at even unless you're the elite of the elite, you can't, I mean, most bodybuilders, when he shows, they wear clothes, you can't even tell they train. I mean, when they're in street clothes. So, I mean, you're not going to get too big unless you really, really try and you're consistent. And most people don't have the discipline to do that. But you're not just going to go into the gym and lift a 20-pound dumbbell and all of a sudden, you know, you look like freaking Jay Cutler.
One that I really like, that I laugh at every time I hear it, is you're doing all this work when you're young, you're going to get big, you're going to get muscular, and then when you get old and you stop training, all of that muscle is going to turn to fat.
Is this a segue?
You're going to be a fat bastard. I love that question. What do you think?
Muscle can't physiologically turn to fat.
Exactly.
You lose muscle. Muscle burns an extra 30 to 50 calories a day. You burn less calories. You have a family. You're eating your kids' corn dogs or Tim Tams or Wheat Bix. And basically, you lose muscle and you gain fat. Muscle doesn't turn to fat. That's like, you know, I mean, that's like water turning to steak. It can't happen. It's a physiologically impossible question. I mean, you can gain fat and lose muscle, and that's usually what happens to people. It's just, it's an old wives' tale.
What is the biggest, most common mistake you see guys that want to get big, want to get lean, the biggest, most common mistake that you see them make when they're training, when they're dieting, whatever? If you had to pick one, what would it be?
Patience. I think we all have to realize that Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time and not knowing anything about diet. Just not caring about diet. So I have to make a tie for first. I can't decide between the two. I'd actually probably put diet first. Because if you do your diet, you're going to be consistent. Because you're going to get results. Period. Diet leads to results. It's all about what you eat.
If there was one thing you could change about the sports supplement industry, we're on to these one thing questions as well. One thing or two, what would it be and why?
Ethics. Ethics are the root of everything because it leads to 400 million other things. Ethics in label claims, ethics in claims, ethics in product selection, ethics in hype. I'm not going to name names. I don't like comparing things to anabolic steroids. I don't like saying something's better than GH because it's not. I mean, you're not going to get better results than if you take steroids. I mean, it's just you're not going to gain, you know, testosterone and D-ball type gains from taking a tribulus product. And you're misleading people, and that leads people to stop. See, the thing is, I want people to keep training. I don't care if you take my supplement or any other supplement, but if you're in the market, you're more likely to buy a supplement, and it could be mine. So from a business standpoint, I want people to stay in here. You get these newbies coming in here, and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to take this, and then they're like, wait, it doesn't work. Like, screw it, supplements don't work. Or if you give them false promises, and let's say they are natural, and you give them these false promises, then you're like, screw it, I'm just going to get on the sauce. And that's why I think ethics are the one thing I changed in the industry.
When I started Massive Joe's, I started it with similar motivations as Scivation because I did exactly what most of us have done. And I have a very clear memory of my first time I ever bought protein powder. I went into a store, I said, I'm looking for a protein powder. The guy behind the counter was a fat guy in a polo shirt. He pointed at two posters. He said, do you want to look like that? And there was a picture of an IFBB Pro, or do you want to look like that? And there was a picture of an NPC bodybuilder, smaller, leaner. And I said, I reckon I want to look like that. And he goes, all right, take this protein powder and that's going to do it for you. I took the protein powder, did absolutely freaking nothing. And that was really where it started for me. I said, I want to start a company where we are going to actually care about what we're selling to people. We're actually going to care about getting people results that they want to get. And we're not going to point at freaking pictures on the wall and sell somebody a product and tell them it's going to make them look like that. Because it's just not going to happen.